Hello, everyone. We are from the Indian Institute for Human Settlements, Bangalore, and our project is titled India Data Cube. My name is Krishna, and I'll introduce the project, and then my colleagues Amrut, Krishna Kumar, Pratyush, and Suraj will talk about specific components of the project. Our project focuses on the specific problem of lack of data at sufficient temporal and spatial resolution to track development indicators. In the case of India, we do have census and sample surveys, but these are insufficient in terms of temporal and spatial resolution. Moreover, these databases exist currently in separate silos, and the differences in resolution makes integrated analysis very difficult. Several advances in the domain of remote sensing and management of large-scale Earth observation data, this provides us with an opportunity to integrate Earth observation data with censuses and sample surveys. We have proposed to use statistical and machine learning techniques to conduct integrated analysis of all these data sets and generate development indicators which are of sufficient spatial and temporal resolution. Our project consists of 4 work packages. Now Amrut will talk about work package 0.
In work package 0, we're using the Open Data Cube framework to populate 2 types of data sets. One is the satellite imagery from the AWS Open Data Archive, and the other is from the census and the sample survey data sets that will be rasterized. In the first part of the framework, we see that we build a satellite data framework from the AWS PDS, the Public Data Archive, through which we filter out specific data sets by sensor types, that is either through Landsat 5, Landsat 8, as well as the Sentinel series. So these buckets, the custom S3 buckets, are recreated in a region closer to us, closer to Bangalore, that is in Mumbai. So this has 2 advantages. One is that in terms of costs, it helps us to monitor that, as well as the transfer speeds are also good. In the automated pipelines are also created to enable data sets to be indexed directly into the data cube from the S3 buckets, as well as also a RDS instance, that is a database under AWS, is also used to index the data sets from the Open Data Cube that enables faster load time and indexing speeds. The second set, we see a data indexing and user services part. This is where we have a parallelized and multiple nodes are used to sort of index tiles directly from S3 onto RDS. This allows an advantage of multiple ODC instances that can be pulled up quickly, and then they also use a common database. This is directly linked to all of the user services using Python or R APIs, as well as the Jupyter Notebook, Lab, and terminals that allow multiple users to log in and run their custom scripts. Fourth topic here is about the containerization of applications. So here, the 2 services that we use, Data Cube Index and the Data Cube User Services, these are completely containerized on Docker. Regarding the challenges and roadblocks under work package 0, scalability has always been an issue since large-scale data sets comprising India level will be quite difficult to manage in terms of cost and also the multiple services under AWS that we'll be using. Specifically, the container services and the Kubernetes service, ECS and EKS, might enable a more streamlined approach to this problem. That is where we would like to have some sort of a training or a workshop in these specific services. Now Krishna Kumar will talk about work package 1.
The work package 1 focuses on generating the land cover time series at 30-meter resolution using the data ingested in the data cube. The work package includes 3 main components. 1. A machine learning model which we train to identify the built-up cells at 30-meter resolution. 2. Generate subpixel built-up and vegetation fraction maps at 30-meter resolution. 3. Train a machine learning model to predict other land cover classes at 30-meter resolution using the 2005-2006 National Land Cover Dataset from Indian Space Research Organization. Our first goal was to produce a built-up map at 30-meter resolution. To produce fractional land cover information, we used a CNN model which is trying to predict the percentage of built-up and vegetation information within each 30-meter Landsat cell. A hard classified list for image for Bengaluru from 2011 is used for training, which is shown in figure B. These are the land cover maps for Bengaluru. Figure A shows the 30-meter land cover information, whereas figure B and figure C shows the fractional built-up and vegetation land cover for the same area. We have tested our model using Mumbai 2009 Landsat 5 TM data. The fractional built-up and vegetation land cover information for Mumbai is given in figure A and B. Now Pratyush will talk more on this.
While we are working on city-wide analysis, we are also trying to generate large-scale land cover maps. In this process, we are trying to understand 2 main points. First, the computational requirements and challenges for large-scale CNN deployment, and second, to have a benchmark to evaluate our own models. For instance, we use the Joint Research Center's GHS S2Net model to generate 10 meters built-up prediction using Sentinel-2 data. For Karnataka itself, we found that there is a lot of over-prediction in built-up class. For now, we correct this using nighttime lights data. The main challenges of generating large-scale land cover data are: first, the lack of availability of large-scale data that captures the diversity of the study area, for instance, a country like India. And second, whatever reference data that we use for training has some amount of impurity in it. We have also developed Bayesian spatial disaggregation models to generate 30-meter population surfaces using covariates such as building height data, fractional built-up, fractional vegetation, and land use data. The fractional built-up and vegetation layer are already discussed in this presentation, and the building height data was generated using Cartosat 1 2.5 meter stereo product. The residential layer was obtained from local planning authority and was corrected for basic errors, for instance left out residential areas as identified on satellite image. Now I'll hand it over to Suraj to discuss the details of work package 2 and 3.
Continuing to the results of work package 2, we took the covariates that were mentioned earlier and fit a Bayesian spatial disaggregation model to disaggregate the population of two cities, Bengaluru and Mumbai, down to 30-meter grids. And for this, we used the probabilistic programming tool STAN running on a compute-intensive EC2 node. To scale it to the India level, we plan to use approximate inference tools like INLA. These maps show the utility of this type of disaggregation. On the left-hand side, you see administrative unit level polygons where the data is aggregated. And the right-hand side is the detailed disaggregated map showing the spatial variation in much more detail. And this is for the city of Bengaluru and for the city of Mumbai. We are also working on estimating population of neighborhoods, treating the problem as a predictive modeling situation. And we use convolutional neural networks to train on small image chips capturing the census enumeration blocks of the city of Bengaluru. And the current performance is shown on this graphs, the actual population versus the predicted population. And we can see that there is a good amount of predictability. Now moving on to the work package 3, the intention here is to map development indicators to disaggregate them down to 30-meter cells. Going forward, we would like to extend this work to build a Bayesian spatio-temporal model to interpolate survey data like the NFHS. By the end of this year, our aim is to finalize all these methods across the different work packages and complete the land cover time series, population mapping, and the development indicator mapping, especially from the National Family Health Survey for the state of Karnataka. And by the end of the project, we expect to scale up all the methods to generate all these data for the entire India. Our expectation is that the project will generate really valuable outputs, which will be useful contribution towards achieving the UN SDGs and the Sendai framework and other climate agreements.